know where we are sitting with the cards currently. So I did pull quite a few. What I also want to say is I did pull some initially, and they were a little on the negative side. I won't candy coat that, but so I redid it only because the rest of the deck fell out, and I just didn't want to take 500 cards. Um, but what I'm seeing here is there's definitely a period of waiting that you're in right now. When I did the Taurus reading, because I know Pisces or Aquarius dad was on there, and I know you were watching the Taurus sign. So Taurus, I didn't give a specific time frame on that one. So speaking to you, I would say that whatever this situation is, it's a little further out. So not, I only asked for the time frame of November, December. So I don't feel like anything is specifically happening that is bringing in any kind of fortune, but there is, I do feel, some kind of unity that is definitely that there's a partnership, or there's some kind of, impactful relationship, very, very, very strongly highlighted, that is going to turn things around. So I will say that much. So what I'm seeing here right now, of course, just in looking at the Hanged Man, I mean, that's the energy of feeling stuck. There's a bit of a pause here. So something is not occurring in maybe a time that you had hoped for, but it definitely speaks to there being a bit of a pause. And it may be a deliberate pause because it needs to be. Certain things take a certain amount of time to line up before they can go forward. If things are not properly lined up, there's a whole bunch of loose ends. There's a whole bunch of things that could go even more awry. And so, as I say, I think sometimes a little bit of a deliberate pause is a good thing. So, anyway, going back to the hangman, there could be some sacrifices going on at this time that you're having to deal with. So, maybe there is a little bit around healing some conflicts, that kind of thing, because I do feel that you're having to not only wait for something, but there's also a level of needing to accept something, needing to heal something, surrender to something. Maybe it's this period of inactivity, this pause. There could very well be something around an air sign with the Queen of Swords coming through here. Definitely speaks to there being some conflict, very strongly highlighted, I would say, in this period, November to December. So, but I would say, I mean, that is going to all change around here further out. But like I said, the Queen of Swords, well, the Hangman, is kind of unsure, unsure of, you can't get something clear in your head, or, can't quite understand something. And it feels like it's in around a particular person, or there's a certain level of frustration because something is suspended. So you're having to wait for something. Something is in transition here. Maybe you're trying to find a deeper purpose or deeper meaning to life, something like that. But there's either way some sense of needing to adjust your point of view in a situation. And I feel like you're kind of in that space of guarded sort of, maybe, I don't know that I see really. I see healing energy here, so I don't really see loneliness or a lot of toxicity, other than there has been some harsh words, something along that line. So there's been some battles, I would say, but for sure with the Queen of Swords, this could be again representing somebody, female or male figure, however this relates to you, but where there's definitely some kind of fights, communication issues, again, where there's needing to be some adjustment in the way that you're seeing something or the way you're approaching something. I don't feel like I mean, there is some kind of clear boundary here, but it's almost like you need to adjust that and able to gain or regain the support of something. You are a very self-reliant kind of person here, but I still feel in this next period you need to rely on your connections. And again, it may be more than one. Could be a business connection, could be a love connection, but there is a few connections, actually, kind of three specifically kind of resonates for me right now, but I'm seeing two specifically. So again, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini is coming up here, but I just feel like there's some kind of, negative communication that's going on. You're still in a very astute place, quick thinker, and definitely dealing with a lot of energy around mental activity. But I feel like that's where you need to adjust things. So So just in again dealing with, just to wrap it up with the Hanged Man, I mean, you're at some kind of a difficult decision, or there's a crossroads around possibly a person, and you're trying to gain some insight and understand the situation, most likely around this person. So again, you're trying to be very logical in how you're dealing with the situation, but it definitely feels like there's got to be some kind of negotiation made there, were, and even a little bit of a sacrifice of your position and able to move that ahead. You're facing a situation that requires a choice anyway, and again, it's a shift in your perspective and able to deal with it. But you do have some options here before you make that final decision. So, certainly there is some element here that is still not quite seen that might help the situation. And that one is further down here. So, we are talking about things, where you're looking at making informed decisions, but there's more of a self awareness as well coming through. When we get to the card of the star card is also here with strength. And that to me is an indication that yes, you can have hope and faith in the situation. Things are going to turn around in your favor. Something is going to work out in a more positive way, most likely in this connection. But I do still feel like you have some determination to kind of push forward, that you need to be able to keep going with, and able to find that peaceful balance between things. So again, there's trusting your inner guidance, but definitely knowing that it is going to go in your favor. And I feel like there's a transition of some sort that's coming up, and this is your challenge with this relationship situation. But again, it's still about having, with that star combination, it's a reminder that there's hope in a situation. So don't feel like all is lost. Things are definitely, this is a message of support and hope and inspiration. So just know that things are still going in the right direction, even though it may not appear at this point. Um, and again, there's still some elements that are kind of hidden here. So something hasn't yet quite arrived for you to take advantage of it. And I say that because we're looking at the high priestess. So something's not quite lined up yet for you to move on. And with that energy there, high priestess, I mean, that's a receptive energy. That's something that's going to be coming inward to you, I would say, um, in this next little bit. But either way, I think you're stuck in that energy of not really feeling like you can trust your inner voice or your instinct on something, or your intuition. It feels like you are feeling like there's some kind of hardship or loss or something here that you're really not quite fully understanding. There is definitely a period of hardship for sure. And I feel like you're feeling like you don't have the internal resources, maybe, or you don't have, enough wisdom or support during this struggle, whatever you're trying to deal with right now. Your inner resources aren't there, maybe to kind of ease into this situation with a level of balance. But the Five of Pentacles is still a card indicating that's where you need to make the shift. So the shift here is in reevaluating your priorities. There is, yes, temporary hardship right now, and a certain level of insecurity could be around the finances because of the Five of Pentacles here. So things feel a little bit shaky, but just know that it's going to change. You just need to hang in there a little longer, because there's something here where you're about to change something that's quite significant with that High Priestess, but you're not feeling like everything is lined up. You are worried about something, about financially, about what's ahead for you. I do feel like for some of you, there might be a physical problem that's kind of manifesting in terms of worry, strain, anxiety, that kind of thing. So you need to find ways to kind of bring down your stress levels here. But it definitely feels like overall, even though you don't see it in the month of November, December, just a little further out from that, there is going to be something that mobilizes and will help you to stop worrying. Something is going to start moving. I'll try to do one for the month of January here for you, just, to give you a little peace of mind. But like I said, the Five of Pentacles is still a card of feeling like you don't measure up, or something is in lack, finances or whatever here. Something is not quite where you need it to be and able for you to feel secure. And again, the High Priestess, it's a major arcana, and that is the main one that's out here. So I feel like whatever this unknown factor is, it does feel like you can trust your intuition to move it ahead. Just be still and certainly, focus in on some of your dreams. But there's something about you needing to almost interpret or understand a pattern or get a deeper connection to yourself as a starting point to be able to find something that's going to, strengthen you, not weaken you. Because right now, I feel like you're getting weaker and weaker, that kind of thing, and things are slowing down or at a halt, something like that. But that's not really the case, because further out, there is going to be an action of some sort that changes things around. But again, it's not that I see it November, December. Timing for tarot, though, sometimes can be a little bit off, but I did ask for the period of November to December. So, with the Five of Pentacles, like I said, there's something here that kind of speaks to you just not feeling like things measure up. There's a bit of scarcity or a certain level of instability around your finances that you're struggling with. You feel like you're deprived a little bit here. And I feel like you're going to possibly search for help, because there's a lot of cards that come in here with some kind of um, something that's going to help you to partner up and able to gain. And it does feel like, even though you're in this time of struggle, um, it still feels like you're reevaluating what's important here, you know, what brings the happiness, or are your values shifting or whatever, something along that line. But you're still building your resources, so don't think the worst here is just November, December feels like a bit of a struggle for you. But I do feel like that's again changing, because we have the Two of Cups and we have the Lovers, and there's a couple of other clarifiers that I pulled on that as well. But again, these are your major arcana was the High Priestess. Trust the process. You're just not in that place of realizing what your resources are, inner or outer, possibly, or maybe just one. But either way, I just feel like whatever this hardship is, you can gain through that hidden knowledge and through this period of hardship, because you have to listen to your inner voice and that wisdom. But also there's a need for you to partnership up or partner up in this next little period. So Two of Cups, like I said, with the Lovers, I mean, that combination in itself sort of speaks to understanding your priorities, understanding love connections or solid connections, those that you feel like you can rely on. But there's definitely a couple of people, I still feel three for some reason, that seem to be relevant in this period, November to December. There's a sense of, a partnership that's built on mutual trust and a lot of really strong foundational energy here, where there's a really deep emotional exchange. It definitely feels like with this combination that, you're both on the right path, you're both aligned for the greater good. And it's definitely one that's mutually respectful. So it's a really good emotional exchange, even though I feel there might have been a bit of a war of words or something that's taking place here. But it's a positive sign that this relationship is evolving together and things are moving in a place where you can find better understanding of the situation. So, again, I feel like you're just being called upon to trust the process, trust your intuition. Something's not quite visible for you to make a decision on yet, but the energy around you is quite positive overall, even though it feels like it's a little under the surface. Like I said, nothing is quite on the on the level where you can see it to make a decision. But either way, some kind of union, whether it's a love relationship or significant relationship. And again, I still feel three very significant relationships as a part of this, because there's strong commitment, strong. And there's definitely some kind of a choice that needs to be made here and able to move something forward. But it definitely feels like, even if you're buckling down on something, buckling down on making a decision, and you're committed to the path, you're committed to this rebalancing of the situation. So, like I said, I feel like you're just in a place where you don't feel like you're quite ready to make a decision, because you feel like you're coming from a place of lack or there's scarcity or something like that. But just know that something about a connection or connections, some kind of partnership or emotional bonds, you're attracting other people to you to assist in this in some way. And I feel like there could be some kind of compassion or something that's communicated to you, where there's a gesture where you can actually gain from that connection. So, like I said, there's more of a strong, strong connection here. Um, Even though I do feel like there has been sort of a battle of words. When we get to the King of Swords with the Eight of Pentacles, King of Swords definitely speaks to more of a mature energy here as well. And I definitely feel like this could be air sign energy. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but the King of Swords is also lawyer, sort of contractual kind of energy, anything dealing with justice or anything that's legalities as well. So there's something here about keep working, everything is still moving in the right way in that area. So you do have some really high standards, or someone does here. And I do feel like there is something here about just keep your nose to the grindstone kind of thing through this period, because things are about to turn around. You'll see the way forward here very shortly, but something has to be brought into the light here with that high priestess energy that's not quite there yet. So what I would say is, even though you're relying very heavily on your intellect and you're really putting out a lot of energy, you're still in that space of maybe someone is causing some trouble for you. Maybe there's some kind of a negative verbal interference of some sort, some kind of a conflict, as I said, with that Queen of Swords energy. But it's okay, because you're still moving in a positive direction. Overall, there is some kind of negotiation around that, where there's some kind of give. New perspective is what has to come from you, and able to deal with the situation. But there's still a lot of research and a lot of things going into this Eight of Pentacles here as well. So even on the whether it's relationship front or finances, the focus here is on education. The focus is on workshops. The focus is on moving some talent or something into a real mastery. And so I feel like this is a long-term kind of situation that deals with a lot of scholarly information, like a lot of expertise, a lot of expanding the knowledge through practical ideas. But it definitely speaks to, that your self-worth increasing. Your confidence is going to increase here as well. But I feel like you're, again, coming from a little bit of insecurity here. Yeah, albeit it's a very small shift that you're having to make. But I feel like through the support of your connections, that's how you're going to sort of reach for this better life or make some kind of major financial changes. You're on the precipice of it. I will say that. November, December is that energy of, deepening your bonds to your connections. And it's definitely, speaking to something that you're doing consistently is going to pay off with that Knight of Swords energy, or the King of Swords energy here as well. But I definitely feel like like I said, for the most part, keep to the process, because you're reinforcing the energy of success. And I feel like you're moving this in some kind of new direction. So, or at least there's a new direction that's being considered with the Fool card, because that is something of a new start, being new to something. But there's something here about a new something. So whether this is a new job or a new, it just to me feels like it's something in addition to a job, something that you're not quite ready to commit to, but you're in the energy of consideration to it. So it's not quite externalized yet, but it definitely has the energy of feeling like it's underway. Um, it's just you're still in that space, especially with that Eight of Pentacles energy. And like I said, something is about to change for you. It's not, you're not stuck, even though you feel like you are. There is some new direction that is about to take hold. You just have to kind of wait it out a little bit longer. I feel like it's more of a new year sort of start. But the Eight of Pentacles, again, is still reaching for, you want to be really good at something. You really want to, your ambition is there. You're really committed to it. And it's more of an energy of approaching something so that with the expectation to learn something from it. So you're really pushing yourself. I wouldn't say aggressively, but you're steadily making progress in something. But again, you have to shift your perspective, I think, in regards to a relationship of some sort, or a partnership of some sort. But it feels like you're about to embrace a whole new direction in some way with that Fool card. We also have the Knight of Swords. So you're taking action with against the Ten of Swords. So you're taking action to get yourself out of a hard battle of sorts. And again, it could be a battle of wits, could be something that's in around a lot of argument or something where you felt that you were defeated or things were in ruin. You're taking action on that. You're actually moving, in a very enduring way to get past that ruin and sort of face your fears. And I feel like you can, you do have positive cards here following this. So November, December is a bit of a hardship, but I think you think things are worse than they are. The Ten of Swords is you're at that level where it's done. Sorry, guys. But there's some sense of being liberated from that where you don't have to worry about it. You are taking action with the Knight of Swords. Like I said, you sort of you've survived the ordeal in November and December, but overall, with the Knight of Swords, you're on to the next thing. So I just want to let you know that even though, there's been a lot of harsh energy here, I do feel like you're still very determined, really focused, really, really focused. And there's almost a certain restlessness, but a swift action that you're taking, a very decisive, focused action to kind of get back in there and really make something happen. So you're fighting for what's important here, fighting for your future. And I feel like your connections are important in this time. And your strong feelings and your strong connections there are helping to direct you on the right path, that's constructive for you. And it's maybe because you have to take into consideration. Sorry, guys, one sec here. Sorry, I get a dry throat when I speak too much. So anyway, it's like you're taking into consideration the things that are important to you. And again, it's going to help you to move things ahead. The Knight of Swords definitely speaks to that energy of going to get things done. I'm doing it swiftly, as fast as I can get this done. And I am not stopping, for anything. I'm just going to conquer what's in my path. I got to get through this. And I'm definitely, filled with ideas, or I'm gathering ideas, and I'm trying to make my point here. I'm using solid reasoning in this time frame, and I feel like I can get this done. And I feel like people around you really admire that about you, because you are action oriented, and your efforts are going to pay off in a big way, even though you're putting in a lot of long hours, a lot of time and energies, and maybe you're putting that in over the period of the holiday as well. But I feel like it's going to be a step toward your fruition of your ambitions, because your final cards out are Ten of Cups, ultimate happiness, and achievement of some successful end. So again, I don't feel like it's necessarily in the month of November, December, but this is your November, December is your time for prove yourself. You know what I mean? It's a prove yourself sort of energy. Get this done, because you are almost within that level of success where something is going to come through and reward you. It's not that far out. So again, Ten of Cups does definitely speak to there being some official happiness where you've transitioned from one thing to the other successfully, and whatever that ending was, it's moving you into a space of ultimate happiness where you feel like, oh, relief. I finally, get what I was looking for. So again, Ten of Cups is your feelings are on strong foundation. You are definitely in a place where there is more permanent, kind of enduring happiness is what the Ten of Cups is. And I feel like you're able to expand that into your success in some ways. So financially, you're successful as well with the Chariot card. That's a very impactful card because it is a major arcana, and it definitely is showing that you feel safe and protected here in some ways, not only just with your connections, but there's vast improvement here, which is going to lead you on to the next adventure, because the Chariot is an adventure. The Chariot is something that has a lot of drive, a lot of ambition, a lot of goal-oriented energy. Could be a new path. Again, there could be a decision where you're trying to figure out something, but I feel like you've reached something here very shortly after this November, December period. And for some of you, maybe it's a new car. I mean, it could very well be with that, but it feels like, however it is, it still impacts your family environment or your foundation. But either way, like I said, Chariot is definitely about self-discipline and willpower, and it's the go for it card. You know, it's the prove I've proven myself, and I am definitely on purpose. I'm not taking weekends off. I'm getting right on to the next thing. You know, I'm paying off things. I am looking after my important relationships. This is purposeful action is what this card is. It's an achievement card. So I feel like you are really able to get hold of whatever insecurities you were kind of dealing with in that period, and you're getting past it because you realize that there's no advantage in slowing yourself down. So it's get back on track and just get it done. So it's that kind of nose to the grindstone sort of feeling for you in this November, December period, but it is going to lead to a lot of success here as well, a lot of happiness. So I don't feel like you're taking too much time to stop and smell the roses. I feel like you've really got your focus, and you're maybe, you know, kind of cutting things down, simplifying it so that you're sticking to sorry guys, what you have to be accountable for. And you are being encouraged to stick to your goals here also. Um, but either way, I don't see, again, if there is a little bit of indifference around a connection, I feel like that is going to be dealt with. I feel like that's on the healing front. But you're definitely forward moving November, December. That the card of happiness is a little bit further out, but for sure it's coming. You just have to keep persevering, because whatever you're doing right now, so long as you're consistent with it and you change your perspective, you will have the support of your alliances here to help you along the way to maybe draw on resources. But either way, there's a sense of accomplishment without damaging other aspects of your life. So again, I really feel like you are in a very strong position, even though you don't feel it at this moment. Just keep pushing through it, because there is success and happiness on the other side of this. And it's not small success, and it's not small happiness. It's big success, an achievement of something that you wanted to conquer. Anyway, that's what I have for you for the month of November, December. Keep moving forward and never give up.